Welcome to this video tutorial covering primary care networks for commissioning organisations. The tutorial duration is approximately 20 minutes. This tutorial is for commissioners creating offers of participation for the primary care network services using CQRS. Creating offers for PCN services will follow a different process to non-PCN services. There are also changes to how commissioners will view PCN service information. PCN services are offered to GP practices from the lead commissioning organisation through the PCN as a whole entity. Commissioners will not be able to deselect GP practices. If an organisation leaves the network early, CQRS will automatically end their participation. These services can use a new value called weighted practice list size, which is a modified version of contractor registered population, and this will be automatically populated in CQRS for calculation. There will be two new user roles available in CQRS. PCN View, which is available to GP practice and PCN organisations, and provides access to new dashboards that allow the user to view all GP practices within their PCN, including data submission and payment declaration details. It will also allow for expanded reporting to allow users to view additional organisations. There is also PCN Management, which is available to PCN organisations and provides access to new dashboards that allow the user to view all GP practices within their PCN, including data submission details and payment declaration details. We can also add or update GP practice data within their PCN, and expanded reporting to enable users to view additional organisations. It is important that you download a copy of the guide titled PCNs for Service Providers, as well as watching both video tutorials in modules 11 and 12, so that you have a much greater understanding of the end-to-end process. Some disclaimer information that all names, images and any financial information are completely fictitious and have been created entirely for training purposes and do not relate to any real organisations. Let us take a look at the end-to-end PCN process. The PCN functionality has a very straightforward flow in CQRS, with limited actions for both the service provider and for the commissioning organisation. The flow, which we'll see on the next page, will also display a colour key to represent who actions which process. This is how it works. Step 1. The commissioner selects the quality service that he or she wishes to offer out. Step 2. The service details are defined, which includes checking start and end dates. Step 3. This step is bypassed and therefore the commissioner will not have the ability to select or deselect any service provider, as it will automatically include every service provider under that particular PCN. Step 4 is to review the information to ensure that everything is correct. And Step 5 is the final step in which you will submit your offer. This is now automatically approved by all the participating service providers, and a service provider can look at this or any other PCN service they are participating in under the Approved section within Participation Management. Auto-declare means that the service provider will not have to submit any achievement data to the commissioner, as this is automatically declared. The status will now be showing us awaiting commissioning organisation approval. The commissioner will then approve the achievement. This will then move into a status of awaiting network achievement to wait for 100% of the payment declarations to be approved by the commissioner. Once 100% threshold is met, the individual payments are summed into an aggregated payment, which is a process that occurs overnight. This aggregated payment is then awaiting financial approval. Once approved, it is then sent to the payment agency, usually the National Health Applications and Infrastructure Services, or NHAIS, for payment to be made. In this module, you will learn about viewing your available PCN services, the services which have auto-accepted participation offers, the services which have auto-declared achievement, creating a service offer, financial approval for auto-declared achievement, network achievement and aggregation, service provider data submission and financial approval, checking your network's achievements, frequency of calculations, information about nominated payees, and lastly, the cancellation of a service. The Available Services subtab allows you to view the PCN services which are available to offer out to your primary care network. To view this description, click on Participation Management, then Manage Services, followed by clicking on the Available Services tab. Next is to select your quality service type from the drop-down menu. Select the Direct Enhanced service. Once this has been selected, you'll be able to see the list of your available PCN quality services. There are 4 PCN services which are currently available to offer out to your network. These are PCN Core Funding 2021, PCN Clinical Director Payment 2021, PCN Extended Hours Access Payments 2021, and Primary Care Networks 2020-2021. Please note that although the PCN network participation payments is listed within the group of PCNs, this is not a PCN service to offer out, as this is at individual practice level only. In Module 4, we looked at the functionality of offering quality services to multiple service providers manually. In the case of PCNs, Step 3 will be bypassed, as this service will be going out to all GP practices associated with that CCG after discussions have been made between the commissioning organisation and the primary care network. This ultimately means that this step will bypass the acceptance offer, and the PCN services will automatically accept the offer by default. The automation cannot be overridden, nor will you have the opportunity to deselect any GP practices. You will be reminded, however, that this is an automated offer at the bottom of the screen in Step 2. Auto-declared achievement is different to the services which have been offered to you previously and have required manual or auto data submission. The PCN services do not require you to do this, as it is automatically declared. These PCN services are PCN Core Funding 2021, PCN Clinical Director Payment 2021, and the PCN Extended Hours Access Payments 2021. The Primary Care Networks 2021 is the only service which will require a data extraction. This will be auto-extracted using GPES at quarterly frequencies. Further information on this will be covered shortly. This data will be collected at GP practice level and then reported in CQRS at both practice and PCN level. In each of the quality services, there is some very useful information contained within each of the descriptions. There will also be an indication of payment frequencies, as well as reminding you that there is no provision of data entry requirements, which in the case of quality services currently available to your network will not apply, as they are auto-calculated. When creating a service offer, please note that this functionality can only be completed by users with a commissioning management role in CQRS. You can find out more about user roles in the CQRS administration module, as well as the user roles job aid. The creation of offers for primary care networks is very similar to what you've learnt in Module 4. The only differences will be that you will not select the service providers you wish to offer the quality service to. Instead, you will choose the quality service, define the service details, and after you've confirmed and submitted your service, it is automatically approved by all the service providers under your particular primary care network. Please note that unlike other quality services, any that have been created and set for primary care networks cannot be customised. Let's begin by creating an offer of a quality service for our primary care network. From the Participation Management tab and Create Offers sub-tab, you can select the quality service by clicking on the drop-down arrow under the Payment Type menu. Select the Direct Enhanced Service, and after making your selection, the quality services appear below. Please note again that there will be no GPES extract or manual data entry required for these three services, with the exception of Primary Care Networks 2020-2021. From our selection, we're going to click on the Primary Networks Calculations 2021 Clinical Director Payment. This is step number 1. As with all other service offers, there are 5 steps that need to be taken when commissioners create a quality service. The service start and end dates are the default dates, and on the period of time the participation in the quality service is active. Dates can be overridden, but must remain within the dates in the original service start and end dates. Once you have acknowledged the service details, select the Continue button at the bottom of the page. As step 3 is automatically bypassed, we move straight on to step 4, which displays a list of the service providers who will be participating in this particular quality service. Please note that if you leave the system at this point, your progress will not be saved. Once you review the offer, you can continue to the next screen by selecting the Submit button. Step 5, the last step, is to submit the offer. You can review the information and then decide whether to submit the offer or not. Once you are happy, to confirm, click the Yes button. Steps 1 to 5 have now been completed. After you've confirmed that you want to submit the selected service, you will receive a notification that the service has been submitted and is currently processing. You can go back to look at the service you've just offered out by either clicking on the View Offered Services above, or alternatively, this can be accessed by going into Participation Management, Manage Services, Offered Services. Clicking on the financial year will refresh the list. We can see the list of services if we click on the Clinical Director Payment, click on the PCN name, and then change the status to Approved. We can then see the list of all the organisations that this service has been offered to. Once the 5 steps we have just covered have been done, it'll be time for Tier 1 approval. To access this particular section, click on the Achievement Management tab, then the Declaration Management sub-tab, and the status should already be defaulted to Awaiting Commissioning Organisation Approval. Further down the page, you will see a list of the service providers who require commissioning approval. This is the first of 2 approvals that are required by the Commissioner. You will also be able to view the achievement amount for each provider. You will need to place a tick into the box or boxes adjacent to the service provider you wish to approve. The Select All box allows you to select all the service providers in one go. Once you are happy with your chosen selection, lastly, click Approve. Once an individual payment amount within a PCN is approved, it is moved to the new Awaiting Network Achievement status to wait for 100% of the payment declarations to be approved by the commissioning organisation before moving on for final approvals. The individual payment status lifecycle is Awaiting Commissioning Organisation Approval, Awaiting Network Achievement, Aggregated, where a new aggregated payment is created, Aggregated Complete, where the aggregated payment was financially approved. Once 100% threshold is met, the individual payments are summed into an aggregated payment declaration for the PCN. This is a process that occurs overnight, and these payments will be made to the nominated payee or paid directly to the PCN if no nominated payee exists. We can see in this image that there are 3 service providers' achievement amounts have now been aggregated and will mean that it can now go on to the second stage of approval. This is called financial approval. New tasks and messages will keep the commissioners informed of the status of the payment declarations within their PCN. Once 100% payment declarations have been submitted, the commissioner will then receive a new task. Clicking on the Service Requiring Financial Approval link will open the task. You'll be then taken directly to the approval section. Below will display a list of the service providers, the name of the quality service, as well as the achievement amount. You will need to select the practice or practices prior to approving the payment amount and place a tick in each corresponding box, or alternatively select the Select All box to highlight all the practices. Once they've been selected, scroll down to the bottom of the screen and click on the Approve button. Once financially approved, the status of the individual payment calculations will then show as Aggregated Complete under the Network Declaration Management tab. The payment file will then be sent to the payment agency, usually NHAES, for financial processing. The payment amount will then be sent to the chosen nominated payee. Below will display a list of all the service providers, the name of the quality service, as well as the achievement amount. You will need to select the practice prior to approving the payment amount. Place a tick in the Select All box, or alternatively, place a tick in the box next to the corresponding GP practice you wish to approve. Once the practices have been selected, scroll down to the bottom of the screen and click the Approve button. To check your network's achievements and what the current declaration status is, click on the Achievement tab, then on the Network Declaration Management sub-tab, select your financial year, your quality service, and the achievement date. This image illustrates that only one of the 3 service providers have submitted their achievement data. Once the remaining 2 have submitted their data, the 100% threshold would have been met and the status will change to aggregated before financial approval. Information on payment calculations is displayed below. There is some very useful information contained within the description of each of the PCN quality services. There is an indication of payment frequencies, as well as detailing the provision of data entry requirements. You can refer back to this earlier on in the tutorial, or you may find the guidance in the user guide titled PCNs for Commissioning Organisations, and refer to the section titled The Services which have auto-declared achievement. Commissioners can easily see who the service provider's nominated payee is by clicking on the Achievement tab, then on the Network Declaration sub-tab, and the nominated payee is displayed within column number 5. If you wish to cancel a service, please be advised that this function can only be applied to the whole PCN and not individual service providers. To cancel a service, click on Participation Management, then the Managed Services sub-tab, followed by clicking on the Offered Services tab. Select your service that you wish to cancel. Please bear in mind that this may take a minute or 2 to load. Once it loads, click on the PCN name. And lastly, bottom of the screen, click on the Cancel Service button. This concludes the training module. You can also find additional training resources in the CQRS Learning Centre. The Online Courses tab contains more in-depth training modules for both commissioning organisations and service providers. The Job Aids and Tutorials tab contains simulation tutorials that demonstrate the specific steps required to complete common and/or critical CQRS tasks. And finally, you can view, print or download the CQRS user guide directly from the CQRS system itself. Please find links to the additional information on this page.